Kunta Bhargav Sai.
Yes, ma'am.
V. Aniket.
Yes, ma'am.
Aniket Maheshram. Vamshi Krishna.
Yes, ma'am.
S. Srinath.
Yes, ma'am.
Sheikh Salman Sarosh.
Yes, ma'am.
Manikanta Kota.
Yes, ma'am.
Bharat Chandra.
Present, ma'am.
Ganji Anudeep. Nalabelli Vinay.
Yes, ma'am.
Suheen Roy.
Present, ma'am.
Hemant Reddy Ji. Dharne Nandini. Dharne Nandita.
Yes, ma'am, present.
Jinnah
Yes, ma'am.
Kshitij Mishra. Payal Sanjay.
Yes, ma'am, present.
Sai Vignesh. DB Pradyuman. A. Nageshwari.
Yes, ma'am.
Hasmita Dasari.
Yes, ma'am.
Ravi V.
Present, ma'am.
Akansha Chauhan.
Present, ma'am. Present.
Gattu Sri Harshita.
Yes, ma'am.
Polaki Anjali Patnaik. Ayushi Kanodia.
Present, ma'am.
Anshul Kanodia.
मैम
Present,
उसका
ma'am.
कुछ
क्या प्लीज कंटिन्यू, मेरे को आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है.
नो मैम
मैं एक्चुअली मैं ब्लूटूथ कनेक्ट नहीं हो रहा था, इसलिए मुझे वॉइस नहीं आ रही थी. वही आयुषी बोल रही थी.
ओके, नो इश्यूज. टेला मनासा. पोथु गुना शेखर. अमित कोराडा. साई अलापति.
Amit Korada, present.
ओके. साई अलापति. प्रज्ञाश्री गौर. सदानंद अनुराग कुमार. विष्णुवर्धन रेड्डी. एन गायत्री. जुलूरी वामशी.
Present, ma'am.
अंकित सिंह. पनुगंती ऐश्वर्या. तुलिपी कोनिका प्रीति.
Present, ma'am.
स्नातम लहारी.
Yes, ma'am.
प्रिंस सिंह डोगरा.
Present, ma'am.
Okay, thank you sir. Now you can take over.
Okay, ma'am.
Screen is visible, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay, thank you. So, I'll just quickly recall all the points and then we'll, before 6 if time permits, we'll see the bias variance trade-off. Otherwise, we'll see it from tomorrow onwards. So, first one, the day one, is something regarding data pre-processing and all. So these are the ways of data exploration. Data exploration is just including your CSV files. If you want to data, these are the CSV files in Python. Then the XLSX files, these are the some Excel files in the data. Then second comes is your data exploration techniques. What it actually shows about the data. Dimensionally check, IL style, df.shape. Then comes your type df. Type df will show the data frames type. Then if you want to find any one particular column name, you can have this thing df and that particular column name and simply type d type. Then slicing of the list can be done here. That is either by use directly slice or they use your iloc indexing method. Then your unique functions. Similar way, the values will show out all the presented values in a particular column. Then df.mean and median, it will show the mean and the median values. Instead of that, you can use the describe also for that. Then it will show the mode of that particular values. Then this is an heat map that we discussed not yet. We will discuss it later on when it comes. Then after this is an data importation. Then after we check the data exploration, that is regarding shape, type and all. After that, this is called as the data wrangling. So data wrangling basically works on this missing data, presence of the noisy data, inconsistent data, all those things, missing data. We have seen few things that were how to remove those nan values and all, simply by using either a mean one, then you can have that global value constant. Replace the missing values with the variables mean, then you can have with variables median. Simply what you have to do, just simply put here as strategy as a mean, you can see here. Otherwise just keep a strategy as a median. Then outliers, that is we also discuss later what is the use of outliers and all. Then data manipulation. Data manipulation, it actually includes what is this df dot head. That means it will show the first 6 rows. Then tail will show the last 6. Values will show the values of that particular column. Then group by, that is basically used when you have to combine 2 to 3 columns. Then concatenate also you can use. Simplifies. Then merging is basically used to perform database joins on the objects. The reason why I have not taken this merging purpose, because you are quite aware of these things regarding left join, right join, inner join and full outer join, what it actually does. Okay, left join, that means it will cover all the points in the left table and only those elements that are present in the right table. Inner join, only the combine only the intersected points data values. Right join, it will include all the values of right table, only include the left points. Full outer join will include each and every point. Same way the joins will move on. This is just a type casting, that how actually it works on int. If you have that these are very simple things. Int 12.32, that means what, 12.32 is a float one, but if you have put int in front of it, so you simply convert it in the formation of only integer, that is 12. Float 23, it will convert into formation of 23.0. Similar fashion it will move on. Then these are data manipulation values. Some examples here. Fine, these are the things regarding data pre-processing. Then we have reached to supervised learning. Supervised learning basically works on the labeled training data. We have seen few examples here that how actually works. This is an example of Netflix movie recommendations. Then whatever the input you will give to this trained data, on that particular trained data is actually working on the historical data and will just predict the output. This is the supervised learning flow. It actually flows in this way. Then types of supervised learning, one is classification and regression. Regression classification basically works on the categorical classes, and the regression algorithms basically work on the continuous numerical values. So when it comes to classification, it just convert into class formation, and in regression it just convert into a linear formations. Other classification algorithms you'll see as logistic, decision, random forest, naive Bayes and SVM. These are some of the types of regression algorithms. Linear algorithm, polynomial and multiple linear algorithm. The first one is the linear algorithm. Basically works on a simple line, that is y equal to mx plus c. Then When it comes to multiple linear regression, it comes in when you have more than one line equation, that is y equal to m1 x1 c1 m2 x2 c2 plus m3 x3 c3 in the formation of that. Then polynomial regression, simply performing any linear regression on any particular non-linear formation of data. These are the examples you can see there. Accuracy matrix R square, basically used to find the most efficient one, accuracy efficient manner it is used. Then it is used adjusted R square. Then cost function, also one of the measure to perform a model efficiency. Then these are the coefficient values that how actually works. If the value of p is less than this, it will reject. If the value of p is great, it will accept those things. These are then these are the building algorithms. These are the types. Then reach, lesson, regression. These are the three things that will prove that are not actually required a lot. Fine. Then we comes for the logistic regression. Basically works on the sigmoid functionality. That is 0 to 1. The probability functionality, simply just convert the sigmoid probability. Just convert the values into the formation of a probabilities, at how much it occurs and what's the use of it and all. If the probabilities value is less than 50, it will lies here, otherwise it will going to lie here. The simple equation of sigmoid function is 1 upon 1 plus e raised to minus x. The x is will be your independent variable, and the s, that is you have to find the values. These are the actual the confusion matrix that I already told you yesterday, that how it actually works, that true and true negatives, false positives, false negatives, and true positives. What they have taken, they have kept like actual no and actual yes here, but we have kept here as actual yes and actual no. Okay, so that's why it's possible that you will get here TP, otherwise they are getting here as a TN. That's the only reason, but again it will just show the same output. Accuracy, again the true positives plus true negative divided by the total value. Similar fashion, accuracy matrix also going to work on. Then this is just a small example. This is the classification example, that how it works. Then moving forward, then we have seen classification for decision trees, that how classification works. This is the input variable. Simply just extract the futures, that is the targeted variables, apply the futures on that, then you just create a classification model on that particular value. Classification, we can say it as an even a machine learning algorithm as well. Fine. So the logistic after that we got here as a decision tree, random forest, naive Bayes, and SVM. Simple decision trees that we have already seen, it actually works on the formation of information gain, entropy, and then you will have some Gini index and all. Decision trees basically used to form an hierarchical formation of data. The example we have already seen, that what actually this humidity wind actually consists of outlook values. Simply I'll just try to again what is this was the example that we have taken. Simply we have to find display as your target variable. Simply on the target variable you have some independent features, that is outlook, temp, humidity, and wind. Among these particular topics you have to find this targeted variables, that whether you are able to play or not. Fine. Similar fashion it will move on. Simple overfitting and underfitting we have already seen. Then comes your random forest classifier. We have seen that regarding this begging and bootstrapping, that how begging and bootstrapping works. Begging is simply, we can say it's a sequential model where your results are required for the another functionality. Fine. Begging, it just doesn't require any results, it just take random data points and they are called as the bootstraps. All the results and the models are independent to each other, and they will just combine all the classifiers to make one strong classifier. Boosting, it's a sequential model, it required the predicted values of one model to the another, that is they are the dependent variables. Fine. Then after Bagging and bootstrapping decision tree classifier, random forest classifier, you can see is just a combination of more than different decision trees, more than one decision tree. Simple way, it just calculate if this decision tree gets a value of 0.5, 0.7 and 0.8, they just combine 0.5, 0.7 and 0.8 and then just gives the output. One more thing, random forest is not that it only uses only one particular algorithm. Sorry, ensemble learning, you can use any number of algorithms. Fine, this is the confusion matrix we have seen. This is the accuracy of all those things. Then the computing cost function, accuracy, this is an example of random forest. Then you're setting up the data, training decision tree, evaluating random forest. Then comes your naive Bayes classifier, basically works on Bayes theorem, that is the probability that what if this happens, if this is already happened. Fine, this is the example, we can say it as what if, what by looking this outlook table, you can see that what if yes is available, what if your outlook is sunny when you don't know about the yes. That's the basic use of Naive Bayes classifier. Then we try to know that how to build those likelihood tables, then those probabilities and all, simply then just get the output. Then comes your SVM, where it actually works on a particular best fit line, and the line that is you are passing through the most nearest point to that another corresponding class. By that point we have to pass one simple line, and that line is called as your support vector data points. Fine, and now you have to keep a note that in support vector machines you have to keep a margin a lot so that it will give you a good accuracy. Then simply classification, we have seen this thing. Classification, when you have linear SVM, you can go with this thing. When you have non-linear, that means what you have to do now, you are going to use the kernel function. It just converts your low dimensional space into any high dimensional space. That's the actual work of kernel, and that's the your basic use of this thing. Fine, so now tomorrow onwards, what we are going to see, we are going to see the unsupervised learning. Unsupervised learning, basically it a function of a clustering. Like supervised learning, linear and regression as we have, in the same way like in unsupervised learning we got clustering. This is the actual type of only the difference you can see here. Like you have some training, you have futures machine learning. The only thing you don't have here, the supervised learning has some labels, and the supervised learning is sorry, unsupervised learning has no labels. Fine, सिंपली सुपरवाइज लर्निंग जो होता है ना, वो एक प्रॉपर फॉर्मेट पे काम करता है. कौन कैसे काम करता है ना, प्रॉपर फॉर्मेट में होता है. अनसुपरवाइज में ऐसा नहीं होता. द ओनली डिफरेंस इज द लेबल्स इन द training data. Fine, this is what an actual unsupervised learning means. You have in number of data here. You have some duck, rabbits, some any birds and all those things. When you apply any supervised learning algorithm, simply what you have to do now, simply just convert that particular point into particular classification. This belongs to a rabbit, this belongs to पता नहीं कौन सा जानवर है, but कुछ तो है ये जिस पे बिलोंग करे वो. Then we'll move on the clustering formations. These are some examples. We'll see few examples only. Basically we are maybe going to see the k-means algorithm we are going to see, and we'll see what if other clusterings what we have to do, and now I have to see the things and all. Fine, okay, fine. So now the remaining portion is regarding that so these are the things that we covered. So if you have any queries in these points, can you ask? Then we'll start a few fastly. What is a bias variance trade-off? We'll just quickly look into it. These are the points that we covered till now. Okay, so do you know about do you have any doubts in this? You can tell me now quickly please.
No doubt, sir.
नो डाउट सर.
पक्का किसी को कोई डाउट नहीं है? Everyone, please at least write in the chat box.
No, sir.
Everyone just write in the chat box that yes or no. Aishwarya ma'am, yes ma'am? No.
Sir, bragging. Can you repeat bragging and bootstrapping, sir?
Begging and bootstrapping. Okay, I'll just quickly tell you. Sir could share that PPT in classroom. Yeah, sure. No doubts, sir. Okay, fine then. Other, like I guess others have doubts. No doubts. Sit. Quiet sitting. Okay, so we'll quickly see what is begging and bootstrapping. So see, begging and boosting are an examples of ensemble learning. So what is ensemble learning? We have simply a training data. The training data we just moves into different base learners, and that is also called as the classifiers. We can say it as the classifier 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Simply we have one data and we are applying different algorithms on that particular data, and after applying different classifiers on the data, whatever the outputs we are going to get, we just combine all those outputs to make one strong resultant classifier. That's the work of ensemble learning. Now it has 2 points, that is begging and boosting. Begging, what it does, again it just takes a data set, then it just takes some different random data points and make new data sets, that is d1, d2, d3 and all. They also called as the bootstrap samples, and then they just are passed to different classifiers. Like you got a d1 data set, passed to classifier 1, d2 passed to classifier 2, d3 passed to classifier 3. In similar fashion it moves on, and in just again it will just come, all the values are independent to each other, and at last it just combine all the values of all the classifier values output, that is c1, c2, c3, and will generate one strong classifier, that is c star. What is this boosting? Simple, it is just a sequential method. In the same way, here also we have to create d1, have to create a c1 classifier, d2 create a c2 classifier. Simply I have taken m1 and m2, you can take c1 and c2, but only difference here is that once if you are preparing d1 and once you are generating the output, that output is dependent on the another data set, that is the another subset data set, that is called as the d2. Similar fashion it will move on d2 to d3, d3 to d4 and all. One thing you have to keep in mind in boosting is that how many instances you got. Like in this example we got 9 instances. This d1, d2, d3 procedure will until moves on till we get 9 instances as perfect. Then just simply combine all the results d1, d2, d3, d4 and d5, sorry m1, m2, m3, m4 and m5, and then just create a new classifier m star. Fine, that's the basic working of boosting and pegging. We can call it as a sequential as it is required. M1 is dependent on M2, M2 is dependent on M3, and it will move on. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay, so now we are going to see simply what is bias variance method. Fine. So first of all, what is bias? You can say it's a prediction error that is basically introduced in the model, and that thing also it is basically used when you are going to do some oversimplifying any particular algorithm. So we can say it's a difference between the predicted values and the actual values. Fine, you can just मोटा मोटा इतना समझना है कि bias का मतलब होता है just a difference between the predicted values and the actual values. Now what is variance? Like if suppose like if some machine learning models performs well in the training data set but does not perform well when the test data set, at that time your variance basically occurs. ये टर्म आपने सुना होगा है ना कि लाइक जब ट्रेनिंग पे अच्छा काम होता है और टेस्टिंग में अच्छा काम नहीं होता है तो उसे हम कहते हैं ओवरफिटिंग. फाइन, तो ये ओवरफिटिंग के टाइम पर ही वेरिएंस होता है. नो व्हाट इज दिस बायस वेरिएंस ट्रेड ऑफ? फाइन, आई विल जस्ट टेल यू, मैसेज किया गया किसी ने? Okay, fine. Now just trying to tell you. Pressure. Okay, fine. This is the actual graph you got. Now what is this I am showing here as low? This is high. Similar fashion, this is low. This is high. This is going to, the X will show the model complexity, while the Y-axis will show you the predicted values. Fine. समझना, थोड़ी राइटिंग अभी ठीक नहीं आ रही है, सिंपल इतना समझना, ग्राफ है, ग्राफ का एक्स एक्सिस जो है वो लो से हाई जा रहा है, वाई एक्सिस जो है वो लो से हाई जा रहा है. एक्स एक्सिस बेसिकली वर्क्स ऑन द मॉडल कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी, while the y-axis basically works on the prediction score. Fine. Now I'm just keeping one point here, LV and HP, that is the starting point, and this is at the end we can call it as HV and LV. Now simply go here. You have got 2 points. One point is regarding training data set, training curve, and another is regarding testing curve. Fine. Now what it actually does, you will start from here and it will move on in the similar fashion, it will move on. That's what actually your training data works. Now when you comes to testing data set, it will start from here, will move, and it will move on in this format, while the training will works on this format. Fine. Now what it actually does, now you have to keep 2 things in mind here, the term underfitting and overfitting. Now what is this underfitting? Underfitting basically works at this particular point. What point? When you have low variance and at high bias, na underfitting is basically works. What it is actually, underfitting is something what, when you got high predicted error values, you can here clarify there, you get high values and at that particular point you are getting these 2 points. ठीक, मैं कलर कुछ करने की ट्राई करता हूँ. ठीक, इतना कलर आपको, ये जो है ना, ये जो पॉइंट्स होते हैं, इस पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट पे जब आपका लो वेरिएंस और हाई बायस होता है, तब आपका अंडर फिटिंग जो होता है वो काम करता है. अब बायस क्या था हमने देखा, व्हेन द डिफरेंस बिटवीन द प्रिडिक्टेड एंड द एक्चुअल वैल्यूज. ठीक, अगर हाई बायस यानी कि अगर दोनों के बीच का जो मार्जिन है, the difference between both the predicted and the actual values are more, you are going to get this underfitting module. Fine. The underfitting basically works here in this particular part. Fine. And the overfitting basically works at this particular part. One, overfitting हमें पता है कि टेस्टिंग सेट पे वो अच्छा काम करता है. तो टेस्टिंग सेट पे यू कैन सी योर मॉडल्स एक्यूरेसी इज वेरी हाई एंड योर प्रिडिक्शन स्कोर, दैट इज द एरर रेट, इज आल्सो लेस. That means when you got high variance and low bias, you are going to get this overfitting term. Fine. Simple. Underfitting जब आपका low variance और high bias होगा तो underfitting होगा. ओवरफिटिंग है तो हाई वेरिएंस और लो बायस होगा. अंडरफिटिंग क्यों हो रहा है यहाँ पर? क्योंकि आपकी हाई प्रिडिक्टेड एरर रेट है. ओवरफिटिंग में आपकी प्रिडिक्टेड जो एरर है वो बहुत कम है. ट्रेनिंग डेटा एक्चुअली वर्क्स सेम. फाइन. ट्रेनिंग डेटा एक्चुअली वर्क्स सेम. The main difference, it actually works on the testing set, because testing set is actually working after your training model. Sorry, after training the model. That's why overfitting basically works on this thing. Now what is this trade-off? Trade-off we can see simply the cutoff. Fine. This is called as the trade-off, which will show the minimal relation between the testing and the training data set. ठीक, ऐसा जो भी जहां मिनिमम डिस्टेंस जहां पर भी होगा ना, उसे हम कहते हैं द बायस वेरिएंस ट्रेड ऑफ. यहाँ पर बहुत ज्यादा होगा, ये तो अभी एग्जांपल है इसलिए आपको यहाँ कम लग रहा हो, बट यहाँ पर भी उतना ही ज्यादा होता है. सिंपल मीनिंग, दिस द ट्रेड ऑफ, इट एक्चुअली वर्क्स इन दिस मिड रेंज. फाइन. द मिड रेंज में ही आपका बेसिकल जो ट्रेड ऑफ होता है वो होता है, ठीक। दैट इज कॉल्ड एज द बायस वेरिएंस ट्रेड ऑफ विच शो द मिनिमम मार्जिन, मिनिमम डिस्टेंस बिटवीन दिस ट्रेनिंग एंड द टेस्टिंग डेटा सेट। फाइन, दैट्स कॉल्ड। यहाँ पर आप देखोगे तो प्रेडिक्शन जो स्कोर होगा वो भी कम होगा, एंड यहाँ पर जो मॉडल की एक्यूरेसी होगी वो भी मिड रेंज पर ही काम करती, ठीक। दैट्स व्हाई वी टेक हियर एज, अगर आप यहाँ पर अगर आप लोगे तो यहाँ पर कम तो होगा, बट यहाँ पर आप दोनों को कंबाइन नहीं कर पाओगे। दैट्स व्हाई यू हैव टू गो इन द मिडल फॉर्मेशन ओनली, मिड फॉर्मेशन ओनली। एग्जैक्ट मिडल भी नहीं होता, बट इट समथिंग लाइक प्रोबेबिलिटी की बात करूं तो 0.3 से 0.7 के बीच में वो चीज लाई करती है। फाइन, दैट्स द बेसिक फंक्शनैलिटी ऑफ बायस वेरिएंस। ये मैं एक्चुअली बाद में लेने वाला था, बट कल जब टॉपिक हुआ ही था तो वो ले लिया। अगेन दो चीजें और भी होगी, हमने देखी थी ऑलरेडी शायद, सिग्नल और नॉइस के बीच में, कि नॉइस जो अननेसेसरी और इररिलेवेंट टाइप्स ऑफ डेटा होते हैं उसे हम कहते हैं, अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट सिग्नल इट जस्ट समथिंग लाइक एन अंडरलाइंग पैटर्न ऑफ द डेटा दैट इज बेसिकली यूज्ड टू लर्न फ्रॉम दैट ट्रेनिंग डेटा। ये हम बाद में भी पढ़ लेंगे। फाइन, ओवरफिटिंग एंड एनसेंबलिंग देख लिया था हमने कैसे करना है। अगर अंडर फिटिंग कम करना हो तो सिंपली क्या करना है, नंबर ऑफ फ्यूचर्स बढ़ाने हैं, एंड अगर ओवरफिटिंग कम करवाना हो तो हमें क्या करना है कि फ्यूचर्स को कम करने होंगे, ठीक। दैट्स द बेसिक two things that we have to do in like for overfitting, to decrease overfitting and to decrease underfitting. Fine, okay, so यहाँ तक का कोई terms and all? किसी को कोई डाउट्स?
नो सर, ऑल क्लियर सर।
बाकियों को फटाफट चैट बॉक्स में लिख लीजिए सबके सब, फिर मैं आपको फटाफट में वो क्या बोलते हैं वो, फिर ये भी देना है ना, टीम भी तो बनानी है ना आज, फटाफट लास्ट के 10 मिनट में वो टीम भी बना लेते हैं। ओके फाइन, हाँ मुझे एक ये चीज बता देना कि ओके फाइन, सो अभी फिलहाल तो 29 मेंबर्स आर देयर। आई जस्ट एक मिनट है, मैं माइक को बुला लेता हूँ। या सो मैं आप ही को क्वेश्चन पूछ रहा हूँ कि जो हम 19th को एक चीज अरेंज करने वाले हैं, तो उसके लिए what you want to do, like you want to work in a team manner or you want to work as individual?
सर कैन यू प्लीज रिपीट दिस?
आवाज नहीं आई थी
सर, कैन यू प्लीज रिपीट दिस? एक्चुअली मैं सुन नहीं पाया एक्चुअली सर।
हाँ, तो मैं ये कह रहा हूँ, इट्स समथिंग लाइक whether you are on 19th of June, as already told you that maybe I am going to arrange a small group discussions and all. So would you want to make me in a group wise or it will be in an individual purpose? Simple, like आप टीम में काम करना चाहते हो कि इंडिविजुअल ही काम करना चाहते हो? अगर इंडिविजुअल ही होगा तो कुछ अलग टॉपिक्स का उस पर रहेगा, अगर आप टीम वाइज करना चाहते हो, ग्रुप वाइज करना चाहते हो, तो फिर अलग चीजों पे डिस्कस करेंगे। What you want from your side, मतलब आप अपने साइड से क्या बोलते हो? एटलीस्ट राइट इन द चैट बॉक्स, और कुछ आप बोलना चाहते हो तो बोलिए।
सर आई प्रेफर इन द ग्रुप।